Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hollywood Critics Association Longbox, where we connect the comic books to your favorite television shows and movies. My name is Tessa Smith. You can find me everywhere at Mama's Geeky, mamasgeeky.com, as well as Mama's Geeky here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. I see Movie Fan in the comments, as well as House of L Comics. Hello, hello, hello. My lovely co-host Jonita Davis will be here shortly. She is running a little behind today, but we figured I would get started. And we've got a lot of interesting stuff to tackle today. Okay, not only has Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings come out in theaters, it has made records. It has broken box office records, showing that yes, movies are ready to come back, which is super exciting. For me, I gave the movie a 5 out of 5. I have a full review up at mamasgeeky.com, as well as the Mama's Geeky YouTube channel, spoiler review and a spoiler-free review in case you haven't seen it yet. But wow, what a movie. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about our reactions and our reviews to that movie. We're also going to dive a little bit into Titans episode 6. If you tuned in last week to the Longbox, you know I was really interested in some of the dynamics between Starfire and Blackfire comic book wise, and I really enjoyed them in episode 6, and I really wanted to get Joe's take on that since she knows a little bit more about the DC comics than I do, and she's definitely been researching them. We both have had the opinion that Starfire is not the best written character, to put it nicely, in Titans, but Blackfire seems to be very well written, and perhaps that's because she's a villain. People tend to be better at writing villains. I don't know, but we're going to talk about that. Joe did some research comic book wise, so we're definitely going to dive into that, which I'm really excited to hear about. I know Joe also wanted to talk quite a bit about Legends of Tomorrow. I've not seen it, but everything she talks about seems like a fantastic show. It's very interesting. And she said there's some crazy stuff going on there that she wants to talk about. So we'll touch on that as well if we have time. Stargirl episode 4 gave us a little bit more of the shade and Eclipso characters I'm definitely interested in. Don't know much about them comic book wise. So definitely looking forward to diving into that and to hearing what Joe has to say about them. And then of course, we are also going to try to talk some What If episode 4 spoilers. This last episode last week on last Wednesday was the quote unquote evil Doctor Strange episode. I have a feeling, I have a theory this is going to tie into Spider-Man No Way Home, which I definitely want to talk about and discuss and get into, because I think that possibly the Doctor Strange we saw in the trailer, well, I think that might be that evil Doctor Strange, but who knows? I mean, they have basically told us, there's rumors flying around, I guess. It's not been confirmed, but there's rumors flying around that some of these characters are coming to live action. And we have been told that What If is canon. So definitely really looking forward to diving into that conversation with Joe when she gets here. I see Trailer Gamer said, "Where's Jonita?" She's running a little late today, but she will be here. She will be here shortly. So I guess right now what we'll do is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I will give you guys my review, talk about it a little bit, and then when Joe pops in, she can talk about her thoughts. Now, I'm going to keep this minimal spoilers, not major spoilers. So I'm definitely, I gave this a 5 out of 5. Okay. So if you've seen my review, you know that. If you read my review, you know that. I think this movie was so very well done. This is how you do an origin story. Okay. I love that every character seemed to get their moment. We learned a lot about Shang-Chi, and we learned a little bit about the Ten Rings. Seems like we're definitely going to learn more about them in the future, and we do know they are going to return. So that's very exciting. Now, the movie itself, it's 2 hours. I would say my only issue with this is it's a little long, right? But it's an origin story, so you're going to have those moments that drag a little as they flesh out the dialogue, because they have to do that. They have to flesh out that dialogue in order to really give you a background on these characters. So I was really excited the way they did it, though. I think it was handled very well. I also was a really big fan of the horror elements to this. there's some creepy stuff towards the end. Like I brought my daughters to my first showing, my 8 and 10-year-old. They came to the press screening with me, and then we saw it again as a family on Friday night. My husband really liked it, and this was something he was not looking forward to. I don't want to say not looking forward to. He was just not interested. He was like, same with Eternals. It's just comics he hasn't read. So he was like, I mean, sure, I'll watch it because it's going to be in the MCU, but like, I don't really care. And then seeing it, he's like, yeah, wow, that was a really good movie. He was very impressed. I love the fighting style. Personally, it was one of my favorite parts of this was the martial arts mixed with like the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon dancing bits, right? Like it's a dancing, I know they're not really dancing, but I consider it like a dancing fighting style, especially towards the beginning. I very much enjoyed that. That's something my husband didn't like. He said he likes to see the martial arts fighting. He doesn't like that aspect. So if you don't like the aspect of that, that might be something that you find an issue with this. But overall, I mean, I love the fighting style. I thought there's some really massive, large scale, incredible fighting scenes. Like toward the train or the bus. I keep calling it a train. It's a bus. We saw the bus a little bit in trailers, and that fight is just better than I ever imagined it would be. And on the big screen, it's just amazing, and it's so good. That, and then there's a scaffolding building fight, which I thought was really well done and really fun. Loved it. Definitely large scale fights. The battle at the end is crazy. It's so good. Again, I don't want to give major spoilers, but I just will say that like it's an epic fight. Oh, Joe's here. Let me let her in. Hey,
hi everybody.
What's up? We were just talking about the Shang-Chi, and I was giving my review of it, and I'm pretty much done, but I want to know what you thought of it.
I thought it was great. I thought that finally the MCU has new characters. I want a Morris plushie.
Morris is so cute, even though he has no face.
I know. That's why I like him. I don't know how he's so cute, so adorable, but I love him. I want a Morris plushie. Please, Marvel, Disney, please.
They have one. They have them. I just pre-ordered. For my girls.
You have to send me a link.
Yes, I will.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm like under the. I don't know what's happening. I think it's like the change of the seasons and my allergies have like hit me.
Yeah, it's always like this time of year.
Yes. And usually I'd like take my allergy medicine way before now, and I'm not prepared. But
well, thank you for powering through.
Yeah. Thank you for starting without me. But going back, okay, so my favorite part was the mythical creatures, right?
Yes.
The glitter griffin thing. I don't think it was a griffin. I think it was something else. But it had wings. It was a horse. It had a mane and a face.
Pretty.
It was beautiful. It had glitter. It was amazing. And I love all the mythical creatures that we got now. The MCU has dragons. MCU has dragons, like beautiful,
cool
not just
dragons too. Like
cool dragons,
they pulled that off because dragons can look ridiculous. Like let's be honest, and they did a good job.
They look really campy. This is not like Puff the Magic Dragons. But these are cooler than Game of Thrones dragons. So yeah, they're really, really, really great dragons, and the like scary monsters are truly scary. There's like a monster. There's like a squid bat dragon thing.
That was crazy. I am telling you. So I went with like Lori is 8, and she was a little like she covered her eyes a little. Mm-hmm. She was a little scared at times, which I was like, I can see that. Like it was.
I covered my eyes. I can understand.
I loved it. I thought it was cool how there was like even. Because the MCU tends to shy away from like blood, right? Mm-hmm, and gore. Mm-hmm. They do. Mm-hmm. And they do in this, but there's one part, and it's like super spoiler, so I don't want to say too much, but there's like parts that go flying. You know what I'm kind of talking about? And I was like, oh, that felt like they stepped it up from their normal level.
Just a hair.
And I loved it. Yeah. Of course. Yes. I was like, this is amazing.
Did you know how the women were taking charge of everything?
Yes.
Like the head of the village was one of his aunts, and then his sister, like was the head. Like he went to like find this head gangster, and it was his sister.
I know. Listen, I love that. I love that about it. I want to know what you thought about, because I was just talking about this before you popped on, the fighting, because I love the martial arts. I thought it was great. I thought some of the fight scenes were so large scale and amazing. And I really like that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon dance style that they mixed in it. My husband hated the dance stuff. So I was curious where you fit on that.
I liked it. I think it, to me, they dipped more into, I know he was looking for more of the Kung Fu, the Americanized version, but I think they went back to something that was closer to what is authentic for the culture. I mean, it's more of a dance style of fighting. If you really watch the people do it, really watch it, and tell your husband, if you watch even Bruce Lee, when he was like doing his thing off camera, it's more of a dance than a fight.
I think it's so pretty too. Like it's enjoyable to watch. You know what I mean?
It is. And like, okay, so let's talk about the flirting between the dad and the mom.
I love that.
They were beating the crap out of each other.
But they were like falling in love at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it made it amazing. I loved it. I thought that a lot of it was very novel. And I thought I love that they got away from the Asian stereotypes. I'm like, if I hear another person saying something about honor to the family, that's why I love that little scene where it's like, they get addressed that, and it's like, they're screw honoring the family, we're beyond that. But yeah, I love that, and I love the fact that he has a family, and then he has family, so it shows that he has his culture wherever he went. You know
what I really loved was that the chemistry between Simu and Aquafina is fantastic. But I like that they are very clearly like friends, and you can have that platonic friendship. Like I like that that's happening more and more on the screen, where they're not like, oh, these two are going to fall in love, and they might, but I think if that happens, they're going to have to change the story a little and warrant it for us. And I like that they can show, like, look, a guy and a girl can be friends. It can happen. You can have a friend of the opposite sex, and there you go.
I think they did try to throw them together a couple of times.
You did?
Yeah,
I didn't get that at all.
That way. I mean, especially toward the end when the fighting was happening, he was kind of looking at her. You know,
but I did like how the grandma's like
gooey eye thing going on.
Yeah, I thought it was more of a friend. I got like super friend vibes, and then like when the grandma's like, "When are you gonna get married?" He's like, "We're just friends." I was like, "Oh, I like that." Yeah, because I feel like we don't have enough of like friends, opposite sex friends in movies, and
because it happens. Yeah,
right. But you would not think so looking at like movies and television shows.
Right.
Everybody's gonna hook up with someone eventually. That's how it feels, and it always kind of ruins the show too, doesn't it? When the people actually get together, you're like, well,
because it
gets harder.
They get together, and then it gets boring,
right?
And then you have to break them apart, and then when you break them up, then you have to change the story.
Yeah,
it's like, don't put them together in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. I'm with you.
They don't have to go together. They work better as brother sister type friends.
Yes, they do. They're just because they're funny, and it's just their chemistry is just hilarious. Like, and the end credit scenes were crazy. I don't know. I don't want to dive in too much into spoilers because I know overseas, like some people are in lockdown still and can't see it. So unfortunately, I know, which I feel bad for them. But I will say I'm excited to see where it goes. There's some cameos that were very exciting to see.
Very fun. Very fun.
And I do have a theory video up on my YouTube channel with what I think the post credits means, but and an article on my website as well, because things are getting. I think this was a great origin story because there was enough ties to the MCU of the past, but enough of like every character gets their moment. Let's learn about Shang-Chi and let's introduce him to the MCU. Do you know what I mean? Like there was enough of where it felt like it belongs in the MCU, but it's also its own thing, which I think is a hard combination to get sometimes.
It is, and I think that giving us Talo, we now have this place that it has so much potential. I think it's just like when we got Wakanda. You have like a new locale. You got new tech. I mean, I didn't think they should have put vibranium in everything, but
they do that in the comics. That's why it's
well, I know, and it's like, okay, well, can we just like cut that? Now, are we gonna have dragon scales and everything? I think that we've got these now two mythical places that are totally culturally geared, adapted, or whatever, and created. And I think and they're created from the mythology of a certain culture or a mix of cultures in the case of Wakanda. So I think that now that we know, one made $1 billion, one made like 140 million in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
So we know that it works. Okay. Yep. We know diversity works.
And it broke the record for Labor Day weekend ever. It was the most that made Labor Day weekend ever. And it's in a pandemic.
Diversity works. People want to see something different. They want to see other cultures. They want to see, I mean, I'm like, because I was even saying this, I was like, even white people are tired of white people's stories. Okay, come on.
Yes, it's true though. You're not wrong.
You're seeing the same stuff all the time.
Exactly. We like to switch it up sometimes. People.
Right. So now let's dive in and let's go find. There is a Navajo story waiting to be told.
Yes.
There's so many indigenous stories actually.
Which will be exciting. Miss Marvel's coming and she's diverse. So that'll be exciting. I'm interested to see how they do that. And I don't know if that has a date yet. I think it still just says like winter or fall or something. Like, I don't think it's got a date yet, but it's coming. So that'll be good. And that's a show. Yeah.
She's Arab and Muslim. And I can tell you from the comics, I mean, it's like a great.
I love her in the comics.
I do.
She's good.
I mean, it's the fact that she shows she's covered from head to toe as her religion subscribes. She has like a strict curfew and she's like not into, there's like a whole thing against caffeine, and she adheres to her culture and her religion, but she still kicks ass. So, I really think that Americans need to see that, especially, the way some of them are now. Americans need to see that, you can come from another culture and still, have a great superhero.
Something I love about her that I hope they bring from the comics to the show, which I'm not sure if they will, but they'll be able to because she's younger, is she's like a total fangirl. Like she loves the Avengers. Like she's their like her room looks like my wall behind me. She's like a massive fan of the Avengers. So I really hope they bring that in, and I hope they don't lose that because that's so much of who she is.
Doesn't she freak out when she first meets Peter?
Yeah, like all of them. She'll freak out. Like she gets nervous.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. She's like working with them, and she's like, "Oh my god!" It's awesome.
Y'all thought Peter Parker fangirled over the Avengers. No, you've not seen it yet.
I know. I really hope they bring that, and I think they will. At least the best they can. So, but yeah. So I gave Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was a 4.5 out of 5, and I slept on it, and I said no. Any issue I had with this was not enough to take off any points. I thought it was great.
Yeah, same. It's about time. We need to be, I know people of color have been saying it for a long time. You don't have to upset the fan bros by, race bending a character. We have so many that are already there. Just go pick one, pull it forward, give it to somebody from the culture, like Faye did.
There was there's some problematic stuff in the comics, but I'm glad they fixed it.
But if you give it to somebody who's from that culture, they know how to infuse the mythologies, the traditions, the experiences that we have no idea about because we're not a part of that culture.
Right, exactly.
And they know how to clean it up and make it to where it's not problematic anymore, and actually make it to where it's introducing us to a deeper view of what they go through.
Exactly.
So let's do that, okay? Go back and reclaim characters. Stop taking off the fan bros. We know, they're going to get mad.
They get mad for everything, though, so it doesn't matter.
If you I'm just saying, if you have a male Wonder Woman or something, don't do that.
Oh, don't do that.
Go back and reclaim some characters, and you see, they make money.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it twice now, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that 5 out of 5 is amazing. It's great. It's accurate, and I love it. I mean, I love it. I've seen it several times now.
Me too. And it gets better with each watch, which is
It does.
crazy. And because sometimes you think, sometimes things don't, especially things that have little surprises in it. Like this one has some surprises and cameos and returns of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not ruined when you've seen it already, which sometimes the second time you see it, like you already know that's going to happen. So it's not as exciting. It's still as exciting. It's a really freaking good movie.
It is. And another thing I like is the depth. You can see just how far they go with the snap is like a natural, not like a national, and it's an international disaster. So you have like helplines.
Yeah.
And therapy groups, and like I like watching the signage,
Yes.
in the background, and you can see just how deep the snap went, and they're making it like it's like a historical marker.
Yeah.
I love that. So that's like one of the things you'll see when you go back and look at it again. So yeah, you'll see something different every time.
I know. Yeah, you definitely do. There's stuff I picked up on second, third watch that I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen that last time. Which happens with a lot of stuff actually, because the first time you're trying to focus on the story, and then you can kind of look in the background more as the like subsequent watches. So, but yeah, so I want to know what you thought of this week's What If, because this week, or last week, technically last Wednesday, Evil Doctor Strange came.
Yeah,
it was the most depressing episode.
Yeah.
I was like devastated for him. I couldn't believe he had to relive these things over and over. And then he became ridiculously evil, like horrible. The Doctor Strange we know is gone and sucked into this evil Doctor Strange. And is this the Doctor Strange that we see in Spider-Man No Way Home trailer?
Yes.
Maybe. I think so.
I'm saying yes. So? I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes because I remember I said that guy in that trailer was not our Doctor Strange. And I got laughed at. So I'm telling everybody out there, remember when I said that's not my Doctor Strange because this is one of my characters I love.
Yeah.
And they're like, who's it supposed to be? And you've been watching too many Marvel movies. No. He would not have gone with chaos and violence with Peter, knowing that Peter's trying to destroy some stuff. He knows. And the fact that we see him going through this, same thing that Peter's trying to try.
I'm telling you, the wink and the way he not yelled, but like when Peter was talking, he's like, stop changing the spell. Like that seems like that irrational, yes, that other Doctor Strange that we saw who was very like quick to get frustrated, and because he's focusing on this grief, right? And someone left a comment on one of my, I think it was my reaction to the episode, that it's like with WandaVision, you see this grief, right? And how this character is dealing with grief. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is kind of like in WandaVision when Wanda is dealing with the grief.
It is, and I appreciate that they're showing that these characters still are human. Yeah. I mean, whenever Doctor Strange was created, he was he kind of fused with this power and everything, but he still has a human side, a side that that just kind of has some regrets. And of course, he's gonna think, "What if I got all this power?
Why can't I use it to bring her back?"
Right?
Yeah.
So I love the fact that this happened. I know it was a depressing episode.
It was so depressing.
It was.
We had to watch her die like so many times. And she never got her creme brulee. I'm so heartbroken for her. Because creme brulee is so good.
It is so good. Now I want some.
I know. That's all I could think of last week. I was like, I really want creme brulee now.
It's like the one dessert I cannot make myself.
No, it's so hard to make.
Yeah.
But anyway, now we're off topic. But
anyway, but yes. So the person we see and Spider-Man is like after this, and it looks like they're gonna make this What If, and so to me it says that they're gonna make this one What If episode solid.
Yeah,
they're gonna make
he's gonna come back because listen, if you saw, because at the end of this episode he's floating in like a gem or something, I don't know what it is, but he's like locked in that thing all by himself. But and I got this from a comment that someone told me, if you go back and you watch the trailer, he's like talking to other characters in the trailer. Now that could just be them fooling us like Marvel tends to do, but it seems like he's coming back this season in animated form. So I'm interested if it's going to be like the final episode, and are we going to somehow, I'm wondering if in the final episode they somehow tie in this coming to live action. Do you know what I mean? That would be very interesting. Because you see him talking to Captain Carter, who is rumored to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I feel like the two of them are going to have some kind of interaction that's going to connect
yes.
to the future live action stuff, which is just go crazy.
You just broke my brain a little bit.
I know, it's super exciting. Go back and watch the trailer and you'll see it. And you're like, oh, it makes me wonder, like, how, like, you know, I don't know. I think those two, it makes sense for the two of them to come to live action. Captain Carter is not confirmed, but very much rumored. Several people have said it. Several websites have said it. So I wouldn't be surprised. And I think
her
they were
book
making
prices
her big
going up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you know.
Yeah.
So I really wouldn't be surprised if Evil Doctor Strange, so to speak. I know that's not like his real name. I think it's like Supreme Sorcerer or something, but I like to call him Evil Doctor Strange. I think he's coming to live action, and I think it's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, or at least in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But this trailer, we talked about it last week in length. Like he's not himself.
That's not him. That's not him in the trailer. So now that we've seen the What If episode, we know. I think we know what's going on. I think we do.
It's crazy.
So yeah. Sorry, I've got kids having weird stuff happening in another room. But anyway, I think that I think we're seeing some hints. That's why I'm going to watch now. Now I'm like, okay, we need to watch What If closely now.
Yeah,
see where he keeps popping up, because I think there's just a few episodes left, right?
I think there's 8 episodes. I don't know. There might be 10, but that was episode 4. And then next week is Zombies, which is super exciting. There might even be 6 episodes. They tend to be 6 hours, but I don't know about this one because it's animated. It could be totally different, because I don't think it's going to be 12 episodes, because they're all half an hour about. So I wonder if I Google, like, if it tells you. I don't know that it's been like confirmed. How many episodes of What If?
So we should pay attention.
Well, it says 4. That's a lie. 4 is how many there was. Let's see. It says the plan was for a 10 episode, but does that mean there are 10? So there might be, I guess, 10. Which is crazy. Okay, so we're not even halfway. So we have 6 more then, if that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take notes, because I think that we're getting a glimpse of what the world the movies are going to come into. We're getting a glimpse of that right now.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
I love the way that this is all tying together into some big grand scheme of things. Yeah.
And during the press junket, you were at the press junket, right?
Yeah, the press conference.
The press conference. Yeah. Remember, didn't Jeffrey Wright, he said someone asked him about the Watcher coming to live action, and he played it off like he had nothing to say. It was like, what if? And I'm like, oh, is he going to come to live action as the Watcher? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I was the Shang-Chi press conference, not the What If.
Oh, you're right, Shang-Chi. Okay, that's right.
Okay. So the Shang-Chi press conference, though, Feige, I think he kind of hinted at some continuity. He didn't really say a whole lot about it, but I think there were like little subtle hints. That's why I'm like, And then when you think of the end credit scene,
I know the end credit scene, I'm thinking, and again, I won't give details, but I will say I think it ties into either, because they don't tell you. They give you like a little hint of there's something else out there and you don't know what it is. I have a feeling it could be Eternals related, just because Eternals is next. Now, originally, This is where my theory gets like really dark, like deep diving, right? So originally Eternals was going to come out before Shang-Chi, okay? But it changed at one point or another. I also know that the director, Destin, said they had several things they were going to do in the end credits, and they did this one very, very late and changed it. Which makes me think it could be Eternals.
After schedule change, yeah.
After the schedule change, exactly. Or it could just be right out of the comics, and it's going to bring in Fin Fang Foom, which is a alien. It's like a space dragon, alien space dragon. Basically, he's like really super cool.
Alien space dragon. Oh my god!
Basically, that's the easiest way to put it. I think he's like he can shapeshift, but like he often looks like a dragon. Kind of just if you just Google Fin Fang Foom, you will see it. And I think it could be a tie into that, just because he's also related to Shang-Chi in the comics. But you never know because they change everything. So who knows? Who knows? But we can speculate because it's fun. But I don't know if that ties into, I mean, it could easily tie into What If there could be a later episode in What If. I don't know. This week, tomorrow's What If is zombies, which I'm so excited for because I love Marvel Zombies. I'm so excited to see what happens. It's going to be grotesque and I love it.
It is. It's going to be grotesque. It's going to be like,
it's going to be Avengers eating each other. That's what it's going to be.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Can I ask without getting my head just chopped completely off? And please, bros out there, forgive me. Marvel Zombies and the DC Deceased. Same thing, right?
Pretty much, right? I mean, yes. Yeah, basically. What I love about Marvel, so Marvel Zombies was its own thing, and it's got like, I want to say 5 or 6 storylines, but they tied it into this What If, and I feel like it's going to be its own standalone. Like, I don't think it's going to have to do with the rest of the season, really, and it probably won't ever come to live action, which is very unfortunate, but, or maybe it'll be its own thing in live action. I think this would be a great spot, because in the comics, this is where you get zombie Deadpool, who's just a head. I feel like this would be a great spot to just bring, like, casually drop Deadpool into them and see you. Just a head, a zombie head. He's crazy. He talks a lot. He's still the merc with a mouth. And he's just a head. He's a zombie head. And I feel like this would make sense, right?
Yes, it would.
I don't know what'll happen, but that would be awesome.
It would make, it would make that episode the most popular one, I think.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be
I
awesome.
doubt they'll do it. Because, like, is Deadpool the first time they're going to have him being a zombie? But I feel like that would be fun because it feels like a very Deadpool thing, right?
Well, yeah, if they don't do Deadpool zombie, this perfect opportunity, then that means I'm still going to have faith that they're doing my favorite book, Deadpool versus Thanos, where they fight over death. Death is a woman. And she's gone, and they have to first they fight over her, who's going to date her, and then they have to come together to find her because she's gone, and they have to save her. And because death is gone, nobody's dying. Nothing and no one is dying.
Oh, what if they do that? And what if?
That would be amazing.
That would be like a season 2 thing, though, probably.
That would be, but I want to see that comic come to life because it is such a great comic.
That'd be fun.
I mean, Deadpool, you learn so much about Deadpool and so much about Thanos, and
oh my gosh.
It's hilarious.
Now I want that really, really badly.
Yes.
So if I don't get it, I blame you. It's all your fault.
I know I'm putting it out there, but
that would be so fun.
Please let it happen.
That would be a perfect, like, that again, probably would be season 2. I doubt it would be this season, but still.
We'd love to see it. And Ryan Reynolds would rock that one out.
Oh my gosh. He's so great.
Yeah.
Now I'm all excited. Okay. Changing topics. I do have to go right at 12 because I have a meeting, but I want to know your thoughts on, did you watch Titans episode 6?
No. Yes.
You haven't?
I did.
Oh, I was like, no, you're breaking my heart because I really, really want to know, because I was saying, I feel like Blackfire is one of the best written characters. So how the heck can they write really well for her and not for Starfire? It's killing me, but I want to know your thoughts on Blackfire.
Same thing. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it's like, I'm sitting there. I was like, so now I know that you know how to write Starfire, but why are you writing
But
her
why not?
as her sister? And you're still writing her as if she's not an American girl.
Because Blackfire was so good, the way she's just like, oh, like, wait, you're washing dishes? Like, you do this? Like, what is wrong with you? And, oh, this is a nice little quaint house. It's freaking Wayne Manor. And she's like, it's quaint. Like, now who's going to draw me a bath?
Yeah,
like,
that whole thing that you guys were hitting at when we did that interview. I love that whole sequence. That whole, just like she was ordering steak. No, she was ordering Superboy.
Yeah, I know. She's like, clean him up and send him to my room. Like, right. What? This is crazy.
And she's like, I just thought the little one was for you. I'm like,
I know. And then later when Dick Grayson comes in, she's like, oh, I get it. He's your manservant. And right. Like, no. I thought she was so good. And the way she's just like, you need to be going down and talking to the people of the Gotham. And then she just leaves and does it. Like, I think she's quickly becoming one of my favorite characters because she is very much like, yeah, she's very clearly a villain. She doesn't have her powers right now. Who knows if they'll come back? They're going to come back. They're obviously going to come back. Yeah. But I'm enjoying her dynamic with her sister a lot.
Yeah. I just wish her sister wasn't so desperate and so
I know
everything. I'm like, you can still make her to where, okay, listen, this is my whole thing. You've got a black girl who has like those eyes and that orangey complexion, and she wears those outfits. She's not gonna have the personality you gave her. Why? Why? Because the world is not gonna let her have that personality. They're gonna harden her up because they're judging her, they're treating her a certain way. So she's not gonna have that happy-go-lucky, optimistic, sometimes weird, whiny type of style. She's gonna be a lot tougher. She is whiny.
That's a good point. Like she's
gonna be a lot tougher. I mean, I'm just going off of what the outfits she wears, just the fact that she is different, in her physical looks and not just black. The world is not going to let her have the personality they're trying to give her. She's not going to be ended up being Supergirl and having that Pollyannish outlook, which just seems to be where they're going. She's not. And that's by virtue of her looks, people. By virtue of her looks. I'm not getting down to the fact that she's a freaking alien, okay?
I know. Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. Blackfire is what Starfire should be acting like, I feel like. Or at least a little bit. Like maybe a little nicer about it, but she still should have the same thoughts as her, shouldn't she?
Yeah, she should be like, of course Wayne Manor is going to be quaint when you rule the entire planet.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, she should have those attitudes. I mean, I don't know. I don't want her to be rude, people. I don't want her to be mean, but I want her to be more authentic to being, okay, I'm an alien. My family owned a whole planet. This is beneath me. I'm going to go off somewhere. Y'all do you, type of thing.
Right.
Her being more like a Captain Marvel type of, colony type of character. Even when she's around her trying to understand human culture, I can get better than I can whatever's going on right now. Yeah.
Yes, no, you're right. So I was very like about it. It was funny because I feel like when Blackfire came in, it made it even more obvious how poorly Starfire is written. If that makes sense. Okay.
Yes. It did.
Which made me sad.
Very, very, very sad.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, but then I want to know, did you do any research on, and we can talk about her another time if you didn't, or if you don't know much about her, about Lady Vic? Because I don't know anything about her from the comics, but now she's coming in just like murdering people and working for Scarecrow, which I'm like, do we need another villain in here? Like, you're starting to stack the cast. Too many people. Titans is making me nervous.
I wanted to save that for now.
Okay. Because she just this is her first time coming in. It's really weird. I'm interested in knowing, like, she has this background with Barbara and Dick. Oh, and then we got the background of Barbara and Dick finally, because they were like hinting that they had been together and we didn't get to see anything. Although I'm still like what happened there, because they haven't told us why they grew apart, which I'm sure we'll get. But I found it interesting that Dick was like out breaking law, like the two of them were out breaking laws and stealing stuff.
Right.
I like that. Obviously,
Yeah.
I like villains, so I like that side of them. And I like that we got to see it. I felt like there was a little something there at the end, and neither one of them wanted to admit it, and they just parted ways, which was annoying.
Yeah, I hope it was more than that, because that seemed a little bit simplistic. But yeah, I mean, seeing Robin, rebel against the Batman training and everything by going with the daughter of the commissioner who wants to keep him on his toes.
Yeah,
that makes so much sense. I love it. I love that.
I thought it was fun. And it took up the majority of the episode, I think, pretty much, the two of them, between the two storylines, between Starfire and Blackfire, and then Dick and Barbara, which I think was good, because it gets frustrating when you have so many characters and it's hard. And I'm glad we got a little bit of Red Hood. I would have liked more Red Hood, but we got a little bit, and you see that at the end now, he's against Scarecrow. I mean, he stole that stuff from the Scarecrow people, so what's going to happen there? I don't know. Poor Jason. He's so messed up. He don't know what he's doing.
He is. Do you think? Okay, so they dropped the game trailer for the show, for the
Gotham Knights.
Do you think that's going to come to the show?
Oh, I think it could. It could fit in. Yeah.
I wanted to ask that because I'm wondering if they're going in that direction,
I think so. I think they could. Maybe not this season, but it's definitely they could be building that. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they could. Oh, that is exciting. I hadn't thought of that. Now I'm like, ooh. I love our conversations, because I feel like stuff comes and I'm like, oh my goodness. That would be amazing. Okay. I'm really looking forward to that game. It looks really good.
It does.
It looks really good. That and the Suicide Squad.
Let me know.
One looks good too. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get it the second it comes out too, for sure. And we'll learn more about it at DC Fandom, which is exciting.
Yes.
Couple of minutes left. I wanted to talk about Stargirl, but I'm so far ahead in Stargirl. I'm having a hard time remembering what happened in episode 4, because I've watched up through 6. And I think 4, we're getting to learn more about the Shade and Eclipso, which is exciting. I think the Shade is very much like something Oh, yeah. I remember what happened in this that I wanted to ask you about. You've watched it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So we learned that the Shade just wanted to, he wants to stop Eclipso, not work with him, is what he told Courtney. The way he talks about him, I think there's someone in the Shade's past that Eclipso hurt or killed or did something with, because the way he was just like, oh yeah, well I've been around to see everything he's done. And so I was curious if there's anything like that in the comics that you know of. You do, don't you?
Well, would it spoil too much if I said the Shade is not really a bad guy?
Oh, he's not.
The Shade is an ally of Starman in the comics.
Okay. All right. See, that makes sense, because he very much feels like he's just doing him, right? He's in this gray area. Like, he even said, because what did he say? He's like, oh, my interests aligned with the ISA for like a minute, but I don't like them. Right? So
yeah, Starman turns him and they become good friends.
Oh, that's interesting. See? Yeah. Okay. All right.
And where Eclipso comes in, Eclipso is dangerous, and didn't Eclipso kill a lot of the squad that day? Or I know they think it was the Shade that killed Starman,
but they both have very similar powers with shadows. So I think it was Eclipso and not the Shade.
That's what I'm thinking too. So that little tidbit I found out, I thought that was interesting, and that's going to throw a little zinger our way. And I wonder when they get to that fact.
I think very soon or I should say I know, there's going to be a bit of a fight, which is what I think we're kind of waiting on. Watching this, you've got the JSA and then you've got the new ISA, and you're like, can we just have like, can they fight? Can something happen? Because the season, which is like halfway over almost, it's getting there. Episode 5 is tonight, and I think there's 12 or 13 episodes. And it's very much been set up. It's all set up. It's all explanation. And this is what happens when you have so many freaking characters, because they need to show each person's life. And they're like, here's 5 minutes of Beth's life. Here's 5 minutes of Yolanda's life. Here's 5 minutes of Rick's life. And you're like, oh my goodness, can I get a full story here?
Yes. Can you like concentrate on 2 characters per episode? Can we do that?
Which is why I love what they did with Titans. They gave us a little bit of Scarecrow and a little bit of Red Hood, but they really focused on Blackfire and Starfire, and Dick and Barbara. That's what you need to do to flesh this stuff out, or it gets too muddled and it gets to be too much.
It does. You know? It does, and you turn the audience off. Yeah,
which is what the Titans seasons 1 and 2's problems were. Partly they've had other problems too, but that was one of them. And so I'm hoping that Stargirl gets better at that. And having seen 6 episodes, it feels like they're starting to get there. But like, you know, I hope it stays, because you never know. Because Titans was starting to get that way, but now they're now they just brought in Lady Vic, and you're like, do you need another character? Oh, now there's like 3 main. I mean, there's Scarecrow working with Red Hood and Lady Vic, and it's like, that's fine if you're gonna do like a group of heroes versus a group of supervillains. But do you need that many? Without us knowing their background? No, because then you got to give us their background.
And then you're going to take too much from the show, and that's what happens at Gotham half the time.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I know.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
While we have a few minutes, I wanted to tell people that Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I put that on the thing.
Constantine is dead. Oh, no. Constantine is a magic mushroom. Constantine is a shroom. Essentially dead, but he's a shroom.
He's a shroom.
He's a shroom. And so I don't know. We heard the rumors that they're going to be taking the actor off. I want to know what people think is going to happen. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, people put in the comments what you think. I need to watch that show, but I feel like it's so far in that, like, how do I jump in now? What is it? It's like season something crazy, isn't it?
I think you can. I think you can jump in at the beginning of the season and kind of get the gist of everything.
Okay, because what is the season, like 7 or something?
Yeah,
it's a lot. That's a lot to go back and watch.
Yeah. Try jumping in, and I think you get the gist of everything. I mean, it does do a lot of explainers.
Yeah.
You may not get the Vixen stuff, or the Vixen's great grandmother stuff. I think it's her grandmother. But you'll get enough to where you can know what's going on.
Okay, because I want to. It's a show I've always wanted to watch. It's just one of those where I all of a sudden got like 3 seasons behind, and you're like, how do I catch up? Like, we've just started watching, and this is totally off topic, but on Netflix, because we always go through and look every once in a while, like, what can we watch that we haven't watched yet? Especially my husband and I watch something together, and we just started watching iZombie, which is older, but we're on season 2 now. It's very good, by the way, if you haven't watched it. It's fun. But it's stuff like that you're like, I'm just going to wait till it's all over, and then I'll binge the whole series. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where you're like, I don't know where to start.
Right. And everybody's talking about it. Yeah.
So that's how I feel about Legends of Tomorrow. But I know it's good. And just from the things you tell me, I feel like it's right up my alley. Like, I love Doom Patrol, and it feels like it's weird and crazy like Doom Patrol.
It is, but with a network rating.
Okay.
So you don't have a lot of
you don't have a Sex Patrol episode?
No, you don't have ghosts,
that was
like rocking it out.
An episode.
In every room of the thing. So it's like made for CW. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. That's good to know. I mean, that makes sense. Speaking of Doom Patrol, I just got the screeners for the first few episodes, so I'm excited to dive into those when I get a chance.
Awesome.
That'll be exciting.
Yes.
Because I love me some Doom Patrol. It's so weird. That was one I didn't watch season 2 is coming out, and so then I binged season 1 because I missed it when it first came out, and I was like, "How did I miss this? It's so good."
It is so good. Yeah.
It's a good one.
We're really gonna have to have a discussion before it comes out.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. Embargo is the 17th, which I think is the week before it comes out. So we've got like 2 weeks, like a week and a half. So maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. I'll get some stuff together from the comics,
or even the week after, because it comes out on, I'm looking right now, the 23rd. So that's a Thursday. So we can talk about it on the 21st.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 2 weeks. So that's perfect. We'll add it to our schedule.
And I'll give some comic homework at that point.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. Very exciting. All right, guys. That is our time. But this was a fun episode. We got to talk about a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to think of what even we'll talk about next week. I'm sure Titans again and Stargirl again. And What If again.
Yeah. We'll do a recap of the Legends season because I think it's over.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect.
But yeah, and like I said, I'm so sorry for rolling up in here just kind of like.
Oh, you're fine. Don't even worry about it. I can just sit and blab forever. I was just like, oh no, are you okay? Listen, y'all. She's always the one in the studio. Like I sent her the link, yet she still beats me in here, and I'm like, hi, like sorry. So I was like, what's going on? Is she okay?
Yeah, allergies. They've got me down so much. They're really really bad. But yeah. Next week we can go over those things and I don't know, whatever else you can.
And then the week after we do. Who knows? Something might drop too, trailers. And then coming up next month, which we already said, I think we'll end up pre-recording our DC fandom coverage because that's going to end up being it's going to be a lot. Like it might be a bonus long episode too. We'll see. Because it's going to be a lot. I think it's best if we pre-record and edit it up because I feel like we could talk for half the day and then both of us up like crazy. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. All right, well, anyway, guys, again, we are the HCA Longbox, where we connect the comic books with your favorite movies and television shows, as you know we just did today, but we are not the only show here. So make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell as well so you learn when we are live, or you can always come back and rewatch the episodes after they've aired. You don't have to join us live. Do you have the list up there? Are you?
Yes.
Look at that. She's so on top of things.
So now, so we have other shows that run during the week. Pop Council on Mondays, hosted by Jamie Philbrick and Wendy Lee Zaney. Hollywood Approved Wednesdays, hosted by Kristen Maldonado and Yael Tijel. What to Stream Thursdays, hosted by Morgan Rojas and Lupe Rodriguez Haas. Trending in Hollywood Fridays, hosted by Scott Menzel and Dimitri Panos. Horrifically Horrifying, hosted by Heather Wixon and Kevin Tass.
Yes, lots of great stuff here for whatever you like. So again, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share the video. Always helps get the channel out there. And I'm Tessa Smith. You guys can find me at mamasgeeky.com as well as Mamas Geeky on all social media.
I'm Jonita Davis. You can find me at the Black Cape and the Black Cape mag on all social media. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. We will see you next week.